Friday the 29th of January 2021. I'm going to make another movie of my A to Z of my mare friends from the Irish National Stud. Now this is part 3 of my A to Z of my mare friends from the Irish National Stud, and this is part 3 now. Before I start off, I have to go back a few I've just remembered a few other mares. I have to recap on mares that I had forgotten about. It's only this morning that I remembered some mares that I hadn't mentioned in my A to Z. I remembered some names this morning, so I have to go back on a few other names before I continue on to the next letter. Before I continue on to the next letter, I have to go back to a few names that I hadn't mentioned in the early part of the A to Z. There's a few names that I hadn't mentioned before, so I have to go back to A first. And there's a mare called Ananota. I'm not too sure that it's spelled right. Probably it's not spelled right. And I was very, very good friends with Ananota. Her name kind of sounds very, very Spanishy kind of sound. She's got kind of a Spanishy kind of sounding name. And she was in the stud 2019. I knew 2019. I don't think she was there 2017. Not that I remember anyway. Or 2018. I think she was 2008. Probably there 2018, 2019. I can't remember. I don't think she was there 2017. And I don't remember her being there 2017. She's a lovely mare. She's a dark mare, dark bay, and I do remember having a lovely chat with her in the nurseries there, I think in 2019. I got lovely photographs with her as well that year, beautiful photographs of her, and she was opposite Reldrua that year. Reldrua was opposite her in nursery 2, and Nutter was in nursery 3 opposite her that time, and she's a beautiful mare. And it sounds very Spanishy kind of sound. We had lovely intimate, lovely meetings with her. She was very friendly, very down to earth, very, very lovely character. Very she's a very sociable mare, very, very sociable mare. A lovely chats with her also in the mare stables as well, in the Kildare yard as well. Now there's another mare here as well. If you go back to letter F, and her name is Fluntock. It sounds really a real Irish name. Sounds very, very Irish kind of name. And I'm going back to, there's a date back in 2019 that I remember very, very distinctly. We were at the stud with Liam and Liam's cousin Xavier. He came from Barcelona, and we met up with Fluntock in the open stable on the 31st of July and 2019. She was in there with her foal, and she was kind of very agitated, and I was going to try and pet her or something, try to say hello to her, and she attacked me a few times. She bit my arm. I think she was trying to protect her foal. I think she was trying to protect her foal. Her foal was injured or something like that. I think he was injured or something like that. And she was very protective of her foal. And Shelby couldn't understand why she was doing that. We couldn't understand why she was attacking me and stuff like that, or why she was acting like that. And so there was a tour coming, so we couldn't stay very long, and so Shelby was getting confused and stuff like that, and so he thought it was his fault or something along those lines. I think it was his fault that she was attacking me or something like that, or it was, I couldn't think he understood exactly what was going on. I don't think he actually understood, because he's autistic, you see, so he couldn't understand exactly what was going on. So he's kind of confused. and I think he thought that one of the tourists thought he was stupid or something along those lines. I think he was kind of a bit confused. But anyway, yes, there's nothing to do with you. It's not your fault. She was just all she was doing was protecting her foal. She's only protecting her foal. She's only protecting her foal, because her foal's injured. Nothing to do with you. So there was fluent talk, and I saw her briefly last year, at the beginning of the season last year, in the Mare stables in the Gadea yard, and saw her name at the door. Liam saw, oh look who's back, I saw her name at the door. Oh, the biter's back, I said the biter's back, so oh, my friend is back, the biter's back, because she wanted to attack me, so so there's another mare here that I feel terrible that I had forgotten about, and it's Love Street, letter L, Love Street. I'm very friendly with Love Street. Now Love Street isn't always she wasn't always very sociable. At times she would be very sociable. Now this is the letter L. So apologies now about all this mixed up. There's names I had forgotten to mention. So I'm just going back to all the names that I had forgotten to mention in the early part of the A to Z. These are just names that I just remembered this morning. I just remembered these names this morning, and they just came to my head this morning. So I just remember these names this morning. They seem to plop up in your head at the last minute. The names seem to come up in your head at the last minute, So I couldn't believe I forgot these names. So Love Street. I knew her 2018. I think 2019. I don't think she was in the stud last year. Not that I remember. I don't think I seen her. I don't think she was there last year. She was there 2018, 2019. She's a lovely mare. I'm very friendly with her. She's a gorgeous mare. Love Street. She wasn't always very sociable now. She's a chestnut mare. She wasn't always very, very sociable now. She was always around Lucrece and Melody Nelson, and another mare that I'm going to be mentioning later on as well, that I'm very pally with too, so I'll be mentioning her name in a while. So but she's a lovely mare, and I'm very friendly with her. I'm just talking to her quite a lot of social chats with her in the paddocks, and a lot of chats with her in the stables as well. And sometimes she would be sociable. At times she'd have good days, and we'd have not so good days. So she would so she can, but she's sociable. She could be great company, and she'd be great fun. She's very friendly in that, and she's great character, lovely character. She was lovely character, and she's very friendly, and she's a beautiful mare, so she is. Now there's another mare here now, Make It Dance, and I couldn't believe I'd forgotten her name. Make It Dance. Now I never had that many social meetings with her, and I Make It Dance. Now Make It Dance, funny enough, we saw her in Goffs, and we saw her in Goffs there as well back in February last year. She was amongst one of the mares that was going on sale. I don't think I can't remember whether she got sold or not. Well, I think she did get sold. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I think she got sold, or unless can't remember whether she got sold or not. I can't remember now. I can't remember whether she got sold or not. I can't remember now whether she did get sold or not, or whether she was withdrawn. I can't remember exactly, but she's a lovely mare. Make It Dance. Beautiful mare, and she's a bay, a light bay, kind of lightish bay, and I didn't have that many associations with her, but she was. But when we did have associations, she was very nice, and I had a lovely association with her, lovely interaction with her in Goffs. I'd say hello with her in Goffs, I'd chat with her in Goffs as well. So it was very nice to chat with her in Goffs, Make It Dance, and that's going on to M, letter M for that. and so she's a beautiful mare now, gorgeous mare, and quite quiet mare. She's not she's very calm. She's very calm. She's not so, it's not highly strong or nothing like that. She's very calm, very relaxed mare. She's very relaxed. Now Melody Nelson, now this is a letter M. Melody Nelson. Now this is a mare now that this is a bit of a story. Melody Nelson. Now she was in the stud 2018 or something, I think. I met her in 2018, and I met her in the open stable many times, a few times in the open stable, and I was trying to read her tag. Liam kind of couldn't read, kind of thought her tag said Melody Maker or something like that, and then I saw they said then I came to the conclusion that her name was Melody Madison. They kept calling her Melody Madison for a whole year or something like that. The whole 9 months, the whole season, we called her Melody Madison. And then we saw her again a year later, and we saw her in the stables. It had Melody Nelson on the door. I said, "Is this a different mare? No, this is a different mare with the first same name. The first name is the same as the mare we saw last year. Or could this be the same mare that we knew from last year with a different surname, different second name?" Or I was getting confused. This couldn't be the same mare as last year. Could it be? Because we're calling it the wrong name, because we kept calling her Melody Madison. This could be the same mare, or this could be her sister, or is this the sister of the mare last year, or well? So we asked the member of staff. I think it was Laura. And she said, "No, this is." She was there. She is the same. She is the same mare. So we kept calling her the wrong name. We kept calling her Madison, or Melody Madison. We were calling her Melody Madison for a whole year, and her name was actually Melody Nelson. So it's a bit of a story there. We kept calling her the wrong name. We kept calling her the wrong name. We saw her in the open stable loads of times. We've seen her more times in the open stable than we did out in the field. And we saw her again in 2019, and we saw her again in the beginning of the early part of last year as well. She was in the stud again early last year to the beginning of the season before it closed, before the COVID. We saw her beginning of the season last year. We were feeding carts, there were horses, and she was there, and so it's nice to see her back again. She's looking great, and it's nice to get reunited with them, get reunited with her. Again, it's always great to get reunited with old friends at the stud as well, and get to see old faces as well as meeting new faces too. So great to see her back at the stud. She's looking well too, by the way. Melody Nelson, she's a lovely mare. She's a bay, and she's got a spot on her forehead, so she's gorgeous mare, beautiful mare. And so we made many meetings with her. She's very sociable, and she's a lovely character as well. So very friendly mare. She's very relaxed mare, very relaxed mare as well. So it's Melody Nelson. Now there's another mare here that I forgot to mention too.
Sorry, Tanias. Just kept on getting the back of the line.
Remember our conversation now?
Yeah.
No phone calls. So I apologise, folks.
Go ahead. Where's that walk?
So the next one, there's another mare here that I forgot to mention also. She's under the letter O, Organza. She's another mare now, she's a very nice mare too, Organza. Sounds kind of a real foreign kind of sounding name too. Her name is Organza. Sorry, Liam's interrupting me here. Apologies, folks. This is my fiance, in case you're wondering, folks. Say hello to the viewers there.
Hello.
Sorry about the interruption, folks. This is my fiance. He's come to join me for a few minutes. He's making himself a cup of tea. That I'm on the letter O, so I'm kind of going back over the mares. Now this is Organza. This is another mare now that I forgot to mention too. She sounds really kind of Spanishy kind of sounding name. Organza. Now she's also great, lovely mare that I'm very pally with, very good friends with. She's very sociable. She's great. We have lovely interactions with her. Many nice ones in the paddocks and loads of lovely ones in the stables as well. She's a bay mare, and it's many of her lovely foals too. And sorry about the interruption, folks. So we had lovely chats with her. Lovely chats with her. She's a lovely bay, gorgeous chats with her. Lovely social chats with her. Very friendly chats with her, and so great time with her. She's a lovely mare, and so she reminded me of a few other mares. She reminded me a little bit of Sylvian Honor, because she had a diamond mark on her forehead. Both of them very similar. Both of them have a diamond mark on their forehead, diamond marking on their forehead. They look quite similar to them, because Sylvian's got a diamond on her forehead as well, and so is Organza. So they look sometimes, and at times I would have got both of them confused, a bit confused. If I get the two of them slightly confused, because they look so similar. But both of them had diamond on their forehead, Organza and Sylvian Honor. So that's Organza. And now there's another mare here now that I've got to mention also, Gallup. Now I only met her once. I think once in the Sunshires yard when she was in foal. I think back in foal. I think it was early 2019, and then it was later on. I think that year. When she had her foal, I think it was later that she had her foal down in the Blanford yard. She wasn't around in the main stud. She was down in the Blanford yard. We went down there regularly, down to the Blanford yard, because we always seem to have more luck down there with the interactions a lot of the time when there wasn't that many mares up in the main stud. Usually they'd have more luck down in the Blanford yard. And also the great thing about the Blanford yard, we wouldn't get any interruptions. There would be no tours, there wouldn't be anyone around. We'd have the whole place to ourselves, and we'd got great interactions down there with loads of mares, great chats down there with the mares. We'd have more chats down, we had more interactions down there. And I met up with the Gallup down there. And unfortunately, the day I met her down there, we had a camera. We had trouble with our camera at the time. It was our old camcorder now. It was just quite similar to the one I'm using at the moment, the same make. And fortunately, we had picture, but we had no sound on the actual day that we met her. And fortunately, we had no sound. We had picture, but we had no sound. And I met her down in the Blanford yard again. And that day is the 13th of July. That year, and it was also the same year that my friend, unfortunately, Stalin, best friend Stalin, gave horse 10 was being relocated to Sweden the same year, in 2019. So that's the only time the only time I met her in the paddocks was that day. Unfortunately, I had no sound, but I got great photographs with her. I got great photographs with Gallup, and I think she's the daughter. I think she's the daughter of I think she's the daughter of Glen Eagles, or unless she foaled to Glen Eagles. It's one or the other. She was linked to Glen Eagles in some way, whether she had foaled Glen Eagles or was it she's the daughter of Glen Eagles. One or the other. I think she was the daughter of Glen Eagles. I think she was the daughter of Glen Eagles. I think she was the daughter of Glen Eagles. And so she's a lovely mare, but I would have liked it there was sound in that picture, because we had lovely interaction with her. And this was the only day I had time with her. That's probably the only day I met her in the paddocks was that day when I had no sound, which is a shame. She's a lovely mare, Gallup. And then, and another mare that I got to mention was Solidora. Solidora was also another mare that I know from way back, from 2017. I know her quite a long time, Solidora, so that's a letter S as well, so letter S is Solidora. So I'm gutted now that I didn't see her this year. I didn't see her. I saw her last year, and I saw her in 2019. I think I saw her 2019. I think I did. or less. Yeah, I saw her 2019, to her last year. I don't think I saw her 2018, but I saw her 2017, and we're very good pals. She's a lovely mare, Solidora. She's a chestnut, and very fond of chestnuts. Love chestnuts, I do. She's gorgeous, and they're probably one of my other favourite type of horses, chestnut, and I love bays. So she's a gorgeous mare. So they're the extra mares that I forgot to mention to you folks. So apologies about that. But sorry about that. I forgot to mention those names. So I thought I wanted to recap on the names that I'd forgotten to mention to you. So the other names I forgot to mention. So apologies about that. So I continue on now from where I left off. Now, so I can continue on now from where I left off. Now, I was on. I finished off on S yesterday. My last one that I spoke on, that mentioned yesterday, was Summer Spice. So I could continue on now from where I left off. I go to letter T now, and I mentioned the Sky is Blazing. So the Sky is Blazing. So that she would be the first one now I would mention now in T. Sky is Blazing. Now I mentioned to you her before. I said to you her name already. Sky is Blazing. So I'd start her off again. Sky is Blazing was she was very highly strung mare. She was very highly strung. And she'd be kind of jumpy. She'd be very jumpy kind of a mare. She'd be very jumpy kind of mare, very jumpy. She'd be a bit highly strung at times. You know, she'd be very nervous in the stable. We tried to say hello to her in the stable. She kind of jumped back. She'd go like this. She kind of jumped back in her stall. We tried to pet her nose in the stable. She kind of jumped back like this in her stall, and she kept banging her nose. She kept banging her nose in the door as well at the stable too. She'd be very highly strung. But she's a little bit more calmer. She's a lot more calmer, more relaxed last year at the paddocks. I was feeding the horses carrots, and she seemed a lot more relaxed than she had been in the previous year, 2019. She's a lot more calmer, more relaxed than she had been in 2019. She was more highly strung in 2019. She was a lot more calmer last year, and I was feeding the carrots. I call her Sky because it's easier to say because of my stammer. So I call her Sky because the Sky is Blazing. It's a very long name. Because it stammers, it's very difficult to say some certain names, you know, especially long names like that.